Here are the exact indicators we looked for in our ADHD patient, and with the mom being right there, I was able to walk her through step by step what we were looking for. I explained that if we find any of these indicators, it shows that there is a neurological underperformance going on, and if we see what we expect to find, we will finally know what we need to fix. The first thing we always look for any neurological underperformance is retained primitive reflexes, so here's how you check for them, and here's what they are. The first reflex we looked for was a Moro Reflex, and here's how you look for it if you want to test your child at home. All right, so the way you test for the Moro Reflex, just pretend like I am the patient. What you will do as the parent is you'll stand behind them as the tester, and what you'll do is you'll just have them close their eyes, and you'll have them just kind of relax their arms to limp, and then what you're gonna do behind them is clap. And what you're looking for is a startle reflex. And it's kind of normal to startle at first because you're like, what was that? But then if you keep doing it repeatedly, like this, and every time they're jumping and they know it's coming but they still can't repress it, that is the Moro Reflex. And another way you can test for it is like if you just pretend I'm laying down on my bed, if you bring back their head like this behind their shoulders, if every time you do that they're taking in a deep inhalation breath, that is also an indicator for the Moro Reflex. And the last way is I usually just have them do a trust fall, and kids with Moro Reflexes can very rarely do a trust fall. So if you found that your child had this reflex, that's the first indicator we see in kids that have a neurological underperformance that's affecting their ADHD. But basically what this reflex is it's a reflex we have as a baby. It's a startle reflex we have as a baby, but if we never get rid of it, it becomes a very exaggerated startle response. This reflex should go away by the time we're about a year old, and if it doesn't, it causes a lot of issues. Like if you can imagine any kind of a door slamming or a locker slamming in school, or kids coming in and out of your vision, or you're passing by a lot of stimulus in the hallway, all of those things start to trigger this reflex to go off, and every time it goes off, you go further and further and further into a fight or flight state, and every time you get more and more into this gas pedal fight or flight state, that is basically the ADHD brain. This brain's in the gas pedal, it's going, it's going, it's going, it can't shut off, it can't focus on things because it's hyper-stimulated on everything else. So that is the first indicator we look for. I'm gonna run out of time, so I will make another part going through the other indicators we see in all our ADHD patients. But before that, if you wanna go to the link in our bio and download our free ADHD ebook, you are free to do that as well.